I don't know if you've ever heard of the pot roast story, but I'm going to share it with you right this moment because we all are some version of living some version of this story. A man had been married to his wife for a number of years, and he had watched her cook a pot roast many, many times. And every single time she cooked it, she would whack off the end of the roast before she put it in the pan. He asked her one day, "Why do you do that?" And she said, "Oh, because that's how my mother did it." And he says, "But why?" She says, I don't know. That's how my mother did it." So he called his mother-in-law and he asked the mother-in-law, "So why do you cut the end off of the pot roast before you put it in the pan?" The mother-in-law's answer was, "Oh, well, that's how my mother did it." He says, "But why?" She says, "I don't know, but that's how my mother always did it." So her mother was still living. The husband called the grandmother and said, "So Granny, I've been watching your daughter and her daughter cook these pot roasts, and they say that they learned how to cook it from you. So why do you cut the end off of the pot roast?" Granny said, "Oh, baby, when we were coming up, we were poor and we only had one pan, and the pan was too small for the pot roast. So we had to cut the end off of the pot roast and then, let it cook on the side as well." Had nothing to do with anything except for years ago, the grandmother grew up in poverty and only had one pan. So how often are we living our lives doing things that we have learned to do that aren't really serving our lives? Our lives are full of pot roasts. And being in an environment where you can begin to think about what you want, you also will find yourself in an environment where you begin to see patterns that you haven't seen before. And when you see those patterns, you'll be able to investigate and challenge them to see if they are patterns that you want to change or patterns that are supportive of where you want to go and who you are becoming.